Look down at your own hands. The water in them may have been floating between the stars longer than the sun has burned, which means the thing you've been scanning the skies for might already be wearing your skin. Sit with that for a second. We build telescopes. We send probes. We listen for a signal from somewhere else. We keep asking if we're alone, but there's a stranger version of the question, and it's a real one that serious scientists take seriously. What if we are the aliens? What if we are the aliens? Not a poem, not a metaphor, a genuine open question about where you actually came from. And by the end of this, I promise the search for life out there is going to look very different. Because it might end at a mirror. Here's what everyone assumes. Life started here. In a warm little pond on the early Earth, chemistry got lucky, and everything alive today traces back to that one accident on this one rock. Story. Comforting. Also, we don't actually know that it's true. Let's start with your body, because your body is the easy part. Every atom in you heavier than hydrogen was made inside a star. The carbon in your DNA. The oxygen you're breathing right now. The iron riding in your blood. None of it was made on Earth. It was cooked in the hearts of stars, and the heaviest of it was forged in explosions when those stars died. Stars that lived and died before the sun ever switched on. This isn't the pretty version. It's the literal version. Take the iron in your blood. A star burned for millions of years, ran out of fuel, and blew itself apart. That blast made the iron. The iron drifted through space, joined the cloud that became our sun, and some of it ended up in you. You are, atom by atom, a piece of an exploded star walking around. So in the strictest physical sense, you are not from here. Nobody is. But that's just the raw material. Here's where it gets genuinely strange. The building blocks of life keep showing up out in space, ready-made. September 1969, a meteorite breaks up over Murchison in Victoria, Australia. Chunks of it land in a field. Scientists get their hands on the pieces, and inside they find amino acids. Amino acids are the parts you snap together to make proteins. The parts that make you. And this rock had more than 70 of them. Most don't even occur in life on Earth. Read that again. A rock fell out of the sky carrying the ingredients of biology, and most of them were kinds we've never seen in anything alive down here. Chemistry from somewhere else, delivered to a paddock in Australia, and it kept happening. In 2014, the Rosetta mission dropped a lander onto a comet called 67P. Its instruments sniffed the gas around the comet and found glycine, the simplest amino acid, plus phosphorus. Phosphorus is in the backbone of your DNA. So there's a comet, hundreds of millions of miles away, carrying pieces of the recipe for you. Now, the numbers. Right now, as you sit there, about 100 tons of space dust rains down on Earth every single day. Carbon-rich grains, quietly falling on the roofs and the oceans and the fields. The early Earth got soaked in this stuff. The ingredients weren't rare. They were falling from the sky. So, the ingredients travel. Fine, but could life itself survive the trip? That's the wild part. Meet a bacterium called Deinococcus radiodurans. Scientists nicknamed it Conan the Bacterium. It shrugs off radiation hundreds of times stronger than the dose that would kill you. And in experiments bolted to the outside of the International Space Station, in the raw vacuum of space, blasted by radiation, frozen and cooked, some microbes just refused to die. In one setup, dense clumps of bacteria survived 3 full years exposed to open space. Not in a capsule, on the outside, in the void. So now line up the pieces. Life, or something close to it, can survive space. And here's the last one. Rocks move between planets. We found around 300 meteorites on Earth that came from Mars. Blasted off the Martian surface by asteroid impacts, thrown into space, drifting for ages, then falling here. One of them, ALH Hadad 401, was picked up in Antarctica in 1984. It's about 4 billion years old. In 1996, NASA held a press conference and said it might hold fossil traces of tiny Martian life. That claim got disputed. It's still not settled. But it put an unsettling idea on the front page of every newspaper. Put it together and you get a chain that isn't crazy. Maybe life got started on early Mars first. Maybe a rock full of Martian microbes got knocked off the planet. Maybe it drifted here and landed on a young, empty Earth. And maybe everything alive on this planet, including you, is descended from that Martian rock. Which would make Earthlings the Martians, the aliens we keep looking for. This idea has a name: panspermia. Seeds everywhere. And it wasn't dreamed up by cranks. In 1973, Francis Crick, the man who co-discovered the shape of DNA, published a paper with a colleague called Directed Panspermia. He argued that life might have been sent here on purpose from somewhere else. One of the greatest biologists who ever lived, saying maybe we started somewhere out there. Now, the objection. You're smart, so you're already forming it. Even if life came from Mars or drifted in from space, that doesn't explain where it started. It just moves the mystery to a new address. And you're right, that's exactly the honest limit here. Panspermia doesn't tell you how the first living thing ever assembled itself. It just says maybe it didn't happen here. So don't let anyone sell you the big version either. Finding amino acids in a meteorite is not finding aliens. Those are just parts. Chemistry, not creatures. What the meteorites and the comets really tell you is quieter and stranger. The ingredients for life are scattered all across the galaxy. They're common. They're falling on your head. And we still don't know if life on Earth started once, or more than once, or somewhere else entirely. So, here's where it lands. Look at your hand again. The iron in that hand was forged in a dying star. The carbon in it drifted through space before the sun existed. The water in it is older than the ground you're standing on. And there's a real chance, not a certain one, but a real one, that your oldest ancestor arrived here as a passenger in a rock from another world. We keep pointing our telescopes at the dark, waiting for something out there to answer back. We keep asking if anyone's coming, but maybe the visitor already came. Maybe it landed 4 billion years ago, took hold in the mud, and slowly, over an unimaginable stretch of time, became fish and forests and you. The alien you've been searching for might be reading this thought right now, inside your own skull, in a body made of exploded stars. We're not waiting for them to arrive. We might be what arrived. And we just forgot the trip.